I just filmed a nearly 25-minute video about being a year and a half on testosterone and realized there was no way I was going to be able to edit that down into something short enough that I would be comfortable posting it, so let's do it again lightning round this time. I've experienced a lot of changes in being a year and a half on testosterone, and my last update was at a year on testosterone. I've noticed a lot of changes have increased in speed, particularly since that last video, and I want to talk about not just what's happened in the past 6 months, but everything I've experienced overall in my year and a half on testosterone. Let's start with what's going to be the most obvious in a YouTube medium. My voice has changed. You can go back and watch the videos, you can see my voice timeline. My voice has dropped significantly, and it's continued to drop in the past 6 months since I made my last video. That's not uncommon for a lot of people. Your voice continues to drop for the first 2 years on testosterone, sometimes a bit longer. Also, I have grown quite a bit of facial hair. I'll get a close-up shot of that so you can really see it. Especially in the last 6 months, the amount of facial hair I have and its thickness has increased. It's gotten to the point where I'm shaving regularly, either clean shaving or trimming, depending on how I feel, particularly my beard. While the hair actually on my face, my mustache, and this here has continued to thicken in, it's not thick enough that I feel like I have to shave that yet. It's mainly my beard. That being said, that's not just true for facial hair. I have, since starting tea, developed a lot of body hair. And the body hair that I already had before tea is thicker. So, one thing that my partner has insisted I have to mention in this video that I didn't necessarily want to mention, I'm growing shoulder hair. I guess nothing wrong with that. Different people have different levels of hair, but it's not a change I expected for myself. So I've, yes, adapted my grooming rituals, and I now trim, shave, pluck, whatever I'm feeling, my shoulder hair. Which means that I've had to make certain decisions I never expected, like where is hair acceptable and where is hair not acceptable. So I've decided for myself I don't want any hair on my shoulders, but my chest is okay, to a certain extent. My arms are okay, to a certain extent, but I've had to draw that mental line of where I'm going to remove it and where I'm not. As that implies, yeah, I do have some chest hair. That's been something I didn't ever think about, but have been really happy with developing, actually. In addition to hair growth, I've experienced a lot of body shape changes. A lot of people experience fat redistribution, but I've always been a very lean person, and I didn't have a lot of body fat to redistribute. I might have a bit more now than I did when I first started testosterone, but still not very much. Mostly what I've experienced is muscle growth. I haven't changed my workout routine at all, and yet just going about my daily activities, I have experienced enough muscle growth that I'm actually right now in the process of switching out my wardrobe to get rid of things that I just can't wear comfortably anymore for newer, larger clothing. If you want to help me in that process, you can check out my Depop at the link in the description. I have tons of clothing that I've absolutely loved that's just too tight through the chest or too tight through the waist, and if you could give it a new home, that would be wonderful. As that implies, yeah, I have particularly experienced, or at least noticed, that my chest has gotten a lot wider. Although I have gotten chest surgery, and I'm now flat-chested, I still can't fit into a lot of the tops that I used to be able to wear because my chest is thicker and my shoulders are thicker, or broader, which wouldn't have been that much of a problem, except I already had very broad shoulders for a lot of the clothing sold in the women's section. Other sort of miscellaneous changes, this one goes along with the growth of body and facial hair. I've had some acne I've had to deal with, not like the hormonal acne that you might expect, but mainly acne from my skin being irritated from hair growing in. So a lot of like irritated, ingrown hair type issues on my face and not on my face. I found that tea tree oil has been really helpful for soothing that. And it has already started to calm down a bit. While my hair is still thickening up, it doesn't seem to be thickening up at the rate that it was between like the 1 year and like 1 year and 4 month mark. Also, I sweat now, and that's new. I guess not really new, but I almost never sweated pre-tea. Like, I could exercise, I could be out on a hot day, and just nothing. Whereas that's definitely not the case anymore. I definitely sweat now. But that's, I found, actually a really good thing. Before, I couldn't stand the hot weather at all. I would just feel sick and awful. Whereas now, it seems like my body can regulate its temperature a lot better. So I can actually handle doing things in the heat without wanting to die. On the flip side, I also stay warm better. I used to be cold all the time. I've heard a number of, like, theories about why this might be the case. I've heard some people say that testosterone makes your blood thicker, which helps you stay warmer. I've heard other people say that because you tend not to have periods when you're on testosterone, and I myself don't have periods, that because you're not losing as much iron, you are able to keep yourself warmer. I don't know. Following that, yeah, I don't have periods. I almost forgot that I was going to mention that because I haven't had periods since my first month on testosterone. Except for one stray period I got at 6 months on testosterone, which was a weird experience for me, kind of. After that happened, I did go into my endocrinologist and we checked my levels. They weren't really unusually low, but I was at the low side of average, so we upped my dose. And I haven't had a period since, which I'm very grateful for. I haven't talked about this before, but I actually had planned to get a hysterectomy in April, so that even if at some point I go off of testosterone, which I might, so being able to get a hysterectomy and not have to worry about that even if I go off testosterone would have been a great relief. And then, of course, lockdown happened and everything had to get canceled, and now I'm not under the same insurance plan, and I can't go to the same surgeon, and everything is on hold and or canceled for the foreseeable future. Let's see, other changes that are worth mentioning. I've gotten taller by about 1/2 inch, maybe a bit more than 1/2 inch, which I didn't expect. Generally, if you start testosterone as late as I did, I was 20, almost 21, you don't grow because your growth plates have already fused. Mine apparently had not, because I have gotten taller. Another reason I'm needing to switch out my wardrobe. I think that covers all of the important physical changes I've experienced in the past 1.5 years from testosterone. You can, of course, always go back and watch all of the update videos I've made to see sort of month by month, or at least segment by segment, how things have changed. But at this point, looking back at it, that is all of the important things that stand out to me. And as this video is almost 11 minutes long, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to make another video where I talk about the social changes I've experienced since being on testosterone, but that clearly won't fit in this particular video. I might also make sort of a taboo questions video where I address some of the things that I'm less comfortable having my family watch and just instruct them not to watch that. Well, have a great time until next time. Goodbye.